Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today I have a knife review. Ow. And that is of this guy. This is the BRS, or Blade Runner Systems, Evolve Series Nomad. Alright, so that's kind of a mouthful, but you could just consider it the Evolve Series Nomad by BRS Knives, Blade Runner Systems. Got to give them a quick shout out. They did reach out to me and send me a couple knives and products to check out. The other one is the Revo Nest, which is an awesome knife, and I did a review of this one already, and I'll link it in the eye in the upper right hand corner, so check that out for this other knife they sent me. But they said, yeah, check it out. And check them out and do a review. And if you stay till the end of this video, I'll have an announcement about a possible giveaway with this. It's just kind of a prelude to it. Yeah, I'll share that information at the end. That being said, you can check out BRS Knives. They also started making ballast songs when they first started. It's known as Blade Runner Systems. That being said, also I wanted to show you how this knife came because I was pretty impressed with it. Now, the Evolve series of knives is kind of the more premium tier, at least above the Revo series. Revos are their most accessible as far as like price-wise. Very good quality, cool designs, good materials. But then the Evolve series is a step up. And so this particular knife, the Nomad, came in this really cool or nice little box. But the coolest part was it came with this super awesome, excellent case. So it's like a hard, soft touch case. Really nice. Slightly large, but like just that textured and embossed, whatever it's called there. You opened it up and this was laying in there, and nice and padded. So great for protecting your investment there. And then underneath, a bunch of goodies. So you got a sticker and a polishing cloth and stuff. So I was just really impressed with that. And I think in the new millennium, or even whatever decade this is, I think as consumers, we want to know when we're investing our money in a kind of a more premium product, we want to have a premium way that it's presented to us. So it's just a nice touch to show that you get a lot of value with this knife. That being said, starting with the specs on this bad boy, the overall length is 8.12 inches long. The blade length is 3¼ inches long. The cutting edge is 2.87 inches. The blade width is 1.25 inches. The blade thickness is 0.16 inches. The handle length is just under 5 inches at 4.875 inches. The handle width is 0.875. The handle thickness is just over ½ an inch. And the overall weight is 5.17 ounces. So it is a little bit heavier. It is over the 5-ounce mark, which is more than I like to carry. But it's part of the design. It isn't that it's just made with heavy materials. Is that this is a very tanky, tactical, kind of overbuilt knife, and that is definitely what the designer was going for. This knife is designed by Steve. I'm gonna butcher his name. Steve Dumkus. He is part of Nova Blades, and so they're able to commission one of his designs for the Evolve series. So if you like this style of knife, if you like this design, you should check out his stuff. So let's get into it, because I think the most eye-catching part of this knife is the blade itself. From the get-go, you can see is a kind of hyper-stylized Tanto blade. That it's a little bit thicker and wider than Tanto blades that I've seen before. And right off the bat, I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of Tanto blades. They just don't serve my needs in any way, at least that I like. But this one is pretty neat because the base edge, cutting edge, is the same length as the upper cutting edge. So it's like exactly half, and I think that's what gives it a very unique look, is that typically this front angle is much shorter. but to have it kind of shared that way is pretty cool. The other unique feature with the blade is that the overall stock of the knife has a satin finish, and then the actual bevel, the main bevel here, actually has a stonewash. So you have this two-tone satin stonewash look on the bevels. So you have that primary saber grind bevel leading to a plain edge blade all throughout the edges of the knife, and then you have this nice swedge that also has that stone washing up top that gives it a really cool look, and just the angles of that blade profile are pretty unique. You do have a round, slightly rounded top with some really pretty aggressive wide jimping. If you really bite down hard into it, it does really kind of burn into the finger and bite in there, so it's pretty aggressive, but with aggressive jimping you have aggressive grip. So also it has a really generous ricasso there, so you're totally going to be able to sharpen the full length of that blade. And then you have this nice chamfered thumb hole oval that is the deployment method. So it's big enough that you can spider flick it, otherwise you can just put your thumb in there and draw it open. Now if you don't like branding, this might be the knife for you, because there's absolutely no branding on this blade that I have been able to find. So there's no designer mark, no company mark, and there is no blade steel mark. And that's kind of the one thing that personally I appreciate on a knife, is just to know what blade steel it is. And this is a premium blade steel in my mind. And that is S35 yen. Really excellent blade steel, good edge retention, corrosion resistance. So it's an excellent blade steel, and it makes sense for such a thick, kind of tanky premium knife. That being said, moving into the handle. Now the handle has a nice, even, symmetrical design on both sides. You got nice black G10 handle scales that are mirrored. Medium grip, nothing too aggressive, but very comfortable. Not really going to eat up your pocket when sliding in and out. It's not very abrasive. We have this really nice polished kind of dome pivot there. Looks really cool. And then it has a anodized titanium pivot collar around it, just to add some pop of color. Kind of reminds me of the there we go, the pivot collar on the whatever this is, launch 11 or 9, I don't remember. But yeah, really cool. I like that. It has a stainless steel liner lock. We've got some really thick liners to kind of add to the overall tankiness of this knife. There's no jimping on the liner, but it is kind of chamfered there to allow it to be pretty smooth. And then we have also an anodized titanium backspacer and an anodized titanium pocket clip, or stonewash pocket clip. No, it's anodized, and it's milled out of one piece, so very nice. You do have some stylization on the G10 that actually follows into the liners as well. And then when you look into the liners here, you can see that they are heavily skeletonized, which will help lighten the load. So without that, it would have been much heavier. So I'm glad they did that. Very nice job on that. You do have the contours of a finger choil and like a hand arch there, so pretty good. And there's a nice divot where your thumb goes as well. Overall, fit and finish is awesome. And the other thing is that these bevel grinds for the blade are just excellent. I mean, that right there shouts like really premium blade feel to me, because a lot of times it's hard to get a perfectly even grind, and whoever did this knife did an excellent job, so super impressed with that. As far as handling, pretty comfortable in hand. I did some carving with it. It worked really well, surprisingly to me, to carve sticks with it. I was expecting it to be a little bit more difficult because it was such a thick blade stock, but it really bit into the stick I was carving for carving feather sticks, and You know, this could make a decent camp knife if you're comfortable using a Tanto for that. So pretty impressed with that. Moving into some comparisons, we'll compare it to Civivi Dogma, kind of another stylized blade there. We can do the more tanky of a knife, the Bird Raven 2, and we'll just throw in a Spyderco Para 3. So as you can see, it's longer blade. The longest blade looks like that Dogma and the Raven 2, but other than that, pretty wide blade. You know, the Dogma has a thinner blade. Handle wise, a little bit longer because it does have that Tanto point sticking, but I don't know. There's a comparison. You can look at yourself. Going into blade thickness, obviously thicker than the Para 3 lightweight. Definitely thicker than the Dogma. You can feel the weight difference, but honestly, they did a pretty good job making it feel fairly light for such a stocky knife. And compared to the Raven 2, a little bit closer, but definitely thicker. So yeah, overall, my one big ding is that pocket clip. The pocket clip itself is nice and well done. The fit and finish is nice. It's connected really well. The only thing is it terminates to that finer tip that I found myself, you know, kind of stabbing or poking myself with. And it kind of, if you don't do it right when you're putting it into your pocket, it can kind of like stab into your pocket, and you could potentially puncture your pants that way. So I wish that this would have flared out at the end rather than tapered, because that is pretty pointy. So that's really my only ding. Other than that, it doesn't take away any of the function of the knife. And once you learn how to work with this pocket clip and put it in pocket, you'll avoid, you know, any sort of damage to your pants. So I mean, once I got used to it, it was all right. So but other than that was kind of like my only ding. Other than that, it's put together really well, and it just looks sweet. This is one of those knives that if you carry it, it's gonna catch people's eyes. Either, you know, they're gonna want to know what it is. So that being said, let's test the Ugly Brown Glove test. So the grip ain't bad. I wish there was some jipping here because that's where it's slippery, but once I'm on that thumb ramp, it locks in pretty good. I can deploy it. The thumb hole's good there. In hand, you know, you got grip. It's not going to go anywhere. So honestly, pretty good. I do feel the tip of that pocket clip when I get my fingertips right on there. It does poke, but yeah, other than that, totally passes. There we go. What do I give it? I give it an A-. So congratulations, you pass. Pretty good. Alright guys, so who do I think this knife is for? First off, if you're a Tanto lover, it's for you. If you're a tactical pocket knife lover, it's for you. If you're an overbuilt tanky pocket knife lover, you'd love this knife. Is it for lightweight backpackers? No. Is it for compact urban EDC? No. If you like just carrying something unique and eye-catching, you're gonna dig this knife as well. So I don't know. I mean, it's tanky and beefy, but I think overall it's more for the tactical EDC tanky carry. So there you go. Other than that, guys, like I said, check out all the links to the BRS and Revo sites and social medias down below. And just so you know, I am going to be giving this knife away. So BRS Knives was kind enough to give it to me to check it out, and I'm going to return the favor. They said it would be a great idea to give one of these knives away, and I'm going to give this one away, mostly because I don't really carry heavier knives. I like smaller knives. But like I said, this is a great knife, and now it will have a chance to be yours. So stay tuned. Sometime before Christmas, I'm going to drop the giveaway video, and you'll have a chance to enter to win. So there you have it, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the links below. Check that in the upper right-hand corner. Peace, and I'll see you outside.